Hello, you've been directed to open up this link, at the OWL Purdue website. And you see that there is an MLA sample paper. So what you would need to do is to click on, there we go, click on this, which will enlarge that for you. The first page of an MLA paper has some very specific guidelines, which you may or may not be familiar with. So let's look. And also, before I go on, I want to recommend to you that you print out at least the first and last page of this document. So you have a printed something to compare with the draft that you turn in. As I'm recording this, there have been recent changes to MLA style. They were done in 2016, but I'm going to draw attention to just a couple of those if they come up. So on the first page, you have up here a page number preceded by your last name. Now on Google Documents, the way you do this is to insert page number, and then you just move the cursor so that you can add that. Okay, it is not a header because the header is the same on every page, but if you do a page number, it'll automatically do that. Okay, so that's important. Then the other thing is over here, you have your name, the instructor's name, the name of the class, and the date. Notice that the date is, well, I think of this as European style. The date, then the month. We're used to, say, April 1st, whereas in MLA it would be 1 April. Okay? And then a couple of things here. Notice that if you do, I'm going to expect that you look through this and read what's in the blocks yourself. This is a short orientation to it. So the green text boxes are for MLA style guidelines. The blue boxes have to do with writing and citing. Okay? So you use a 12-point font. I'm actually not forcing Times New Roman. Whatever Google Drive defaults to, just as long as it's a normal font and nothing, funky or fancy. Okay, so you will be looking at introductions. You'll also be looking at thesis statement. It's interesting in the sample that they provide. I'm actually not. If I were looking at this as an instructor. And it may be that this paper meets the guidelines, but I don't see this as a thesis myself. But the thesis should be early, very early in your essay. And if you want to set yourself a goal for that, make it be the last sentence of the first paragraph, or possibly the first sentence of the second paragraph. It should absolutely be on the first page. And it should be clear and complete. Okay? This example has guidelines for how to provide headings and subheadings. That's for a long paper. You probably won't need that. Again, I'm going to expect that you take a look and read through this yourself, but I do want to draw your attention to, for instance, what's called an in-text citation right here. In-text citations occur after the quote or summary. It does not have to be a direct quote. It can be someone else's ideas in your words. They occur after the quote, but before the period. The author or author's name go before the page number, no comma. Also note that there is no P dot or PG dot, etc. in an MLA in-text citation. So here we see one, okay? Notice this one has just the page number. So the message here is that this is the same source that was used right here. Okay? You have not changed sources, so you don't repeat the last name. Now, footnotes, you will probably not be doing footnotes. I want to get to I'm just making sure, but I definitely want to get to the works cited page. Ah, here we go. Right here, you need to use block quotes when the quotation is longer than 4 typed lines. So as you type it out, if it goes over 4 lines, you know you put it in a block, you indent it. Notice that even though it's a quote, you actually don't use quotation marks. I know, right? I did not make these rules, but that's the way it goes. And then just to mess with us a little further, the period goes before the page number this time. Okay, what can I tell you? I did not make these rules. So, now, I want to make sure that we get to a works cited. Notice how much space there is. Works cited starts on its own page. That's the notes that you should not have, but the works cited is a separate page at the end. It's a list of the sources cited in your paper. Now, it is considered part of the paper, so you get the same page number. The words works cited are centered at the top. And then if there's only one entry, let's say you're writing a summary of one thing, works cited with no works. Okay, it's not plural. Now, there are some changes. So again, I'm encouraging you to print out that first page and then this page too. If you've used MLA in the past, you've, for instance, probably put the city of publication. That is no longer required. It also does not require sources to mark the format like it used to: print, web, DVD, those things. Okay, so those are no longer included. So I think if you compare this with also, and relying on whatever you have in a handbook that you either own for this class or already own, you'll be able, I think, to figure out. You should have a handbook that gives you directory so that you have your sources entered correctly. The update to MLA also, it adds back the URLs when it's possible, and that had dropped off, and now that's back in the 8th edition of the MLA. So, all right, this is then this brief introduction, a little longer than I wanted it to be, but to an MLA format paper, and you will be able to explore on your own any other fine points. This is a good example of how to format and do your documentation MLA.